I was losing interest in work. I realized I was becoming a clown whenever the parts receiver guys were mad at me and disrespected me. I hated myself laughing, but there wasn't anything I could do. I was like a slave to money. I felt like I could do anything for the money. Every time when I was on the way home, I saw the casino, and I was tempted to go to the casino. I promised myself that I wouldn't go to the casino during the weekday. I was uncertain of my luck, and I never imagined myself to become a professional gambler. It was Wednesday night, middle of the weekday. By thinking about it, I knew I would go to the casino on Friday night. I had to wait 2 more days, and I was getting impatient. My legs were shaking while I was thinking about it like a dog holding a piss, and I started to hear the clapping plastic chip in my head like I did a drug that hallucinated me. I checked on the watch. It was only 8 p.m. I knew I couldn't fall asleep like this, so I got into my car. The casino on the weekday was surprisingly busy. Once I entered the casino, there were people sitting in the stadium where the horse race was held. People were busy buying the tickets to bet on the horse before I entered the table game room. I checked on the horses on the screen. I could see the horses from the top corner of the racetrack. I picked the big and muscular horse in the green tag, and I bought the $5 ticket from the machine. I sat outside of the stadium and watched the race. It didn't have any expectation to win. To me, it was more of entertainment to watch the horse race. It was my first time seeing a horse race in a racetrack in my life. The atmosphere was feverish. Everyone cheered for the horses, and by their yelling and shouting, I started to expect something from the race. The yellow horse led the line, and black horse was at the last. But after the first turn, the black horse caught up to the pink and orange horses, and it was surpassing the green horse, which was in second place. Once again, on the straight line, the green horse surpassed the black horse and slowly caught up to the yellow horse, and once I saw the possibility of winning, my heart felt like burning with a passion. Black horse caught up to the green horse, but by the minute seconds, the yellow horse finished first, and black horse finished as second. My green horse was in third place. I realized my ticket became a meaningless piece of paper. I threw up in the garbage bin and entered the table game room. To be honest, the horse race was entertaining, and I wanted to try once again next time. The table game room was empty compared to the horse race stadium, but most of the blackjack tables were full. Most of the people in the table game room were old people. There were few college students in the game room, but I could count with my fingers. I sat on the cheapest betting table, and old people seemed serious and a bit melancholic. Once I sat on the table, one old man with an Eastern European accent asked,
"What are you doing in the casino during the weekday, young man?"
"I'm just here to play some games. How are you, sir?" The old man smirked and pushed his 2 chips on the betting table and said,
"I have nothing to do with my life, so I'm here. I'm retired, just sitting at home eating and watching television like a pig."
I cashed in my $200 into the game and I bet it on the table. The old man continued,
"What about you? If I was your age, I would go to a club or a bar with a girl, have a nice night, not like coming to the casino and wasting your money and time."
2 other old men seemed careless with our conversation. They betted money with their shaky hands. I was used to listening to the old people's ranting, and it was better to talk to someone to release the tension in the game. I giggled and answered, "I'm just here to make some money." Old man laughed once he heard my answer. He said,
"Good luck."
The game started with his sentence. The old man got an ace first. I wished him for a blackjack, and I got the Clover K as a starting card. Dealer's card was number 5. The old man got the Diamond 3 as a second card, and he shook his head while he was looking at his card. I got another pair of K, but this time it was Spade K. The old man said,
"You are lucky today."
"Thank you." I won the first and second game by having 2 pairs of face cards. It was an odd coincidence. I could leave the table and take the $200 of winning, but I felt especially lucky today. I remembered the jackpot from the last game, and I couldn't easily leave the table. I felt like I would be able to win bigger this time. Old man looked at my fourth card and he was surprised. It was another 20 that I got on my hand. He laughed and said,
You are really lucky today.
"Thank you." To be honest, I knew these were just luck. I couldn't explain anything mathematically because I just joined the game and I didn't count any cards this time. I started to rely on luck instead of strategy, but it worked. Old man stirred his pocket and pulled out a couple $100 bills on the table. The way he looked at the money was like letting his love leave. The old man spoke to me.
It's better to leave when you are winning. If you are staying longer, you lose more.
The old man took a deep breath in and continued.
You know, I don't mind losing money. There is nothing else I would lose. As long as I play within my limit, I have no issue. I already have grandkids, and what else would I even expect from the casino? I'm too old to go on trips to another country or travel. My life was never fancy, but ordinary. I don't have any complaints with it. I kept my life consistent and had a family like normal people.
I wanted to ask if he had ambition, but I kept myself quiet and just listened to the old man's ranting.
When I hit 75 and seeing grandkids growing up, I wondered what's the point of money if I had enough to raise my kids, see my kids have their kids, and have a family. But you know what is scary to see?
His question caught my interest. I had to ask what he was scared of. If he wasn't scared of losing money, what else would he be scared of? What is it?
It's watching my family fight over inheritance, money that I saved up.
One other old lady nodded quietly, and one other old man said,
Hey, your negative energy is going to give me bad luck. Stop talking.
The old lady said,
Why are you stopping him? He is trying to give a lesson to this young man. You, him, and I all have similar issues. Don't you at least agree?
Dealer started the game before the other man started to talk. This time I got 1, 3, and 4. Bad cards. The old man at the left corner shook his head once he saw his card. He had 14 total. The Eastern European old man got 20. He continued his story.
To me, I better have nothing to leave. I don't want to see my family fight and be separated because of money.
I tapped the table and I got a spade ace. I had a total of 18 and I stopped there. The old man nodded once he saw the card. He continued.
That's why I'm in the casino. Sometimes I just can't handle the solitude that I feel at home.
Dealer had 16 once he opened his card, and his next card was Clover 2. It was a push. I asked him, "What about your wife?" The old man took a deep breath and held it for a short moment. He laughed futilely while he was looking at the chips coming into him.
She passed away a year ago.
The old man at the left corner punched the table with his shaky hand and said,
Hey, can you please stop talking? You are making me anxious. I can't focus on the game.
The old lady said calmly.
You have good ears out of all of us.
I had to apologize to the people around the table. I'm sorry. I think I caused trouble here. Once I stood up from the table, the old lady delicately held my wrist and said,
Oh no, you didn't cause any trouble here. You don't have to leave because of that grumpy man.
I looked at the Eastern European old man. He looked at me with a bright smile. He said with a comfortable voice,
Run, boy. If you won the money, just run. You are not like us. You have reason to make money. Just enjoy your life somewhere else. Make money with your job. It doesn't have to be something superficial or extraordinary. If you want to gamble, gamble with your life. Not with money. If you just chase the money, then you end up being a slave of money.
The old lady nodded and she released her hand from my hand.
He is right.
The old man at the left corner said,
Now will you be quiet?
Yes, I will be. Just play the game. Leave the young guy alone.
You were the only one who was talking to him, even though he was not even interested in your story.
I had to stop their fight. I looked at the Eastern European old man and said, Good luck, sir. The Eastern European old man waved his hand to me. I walked away from the table that I used to play and looked at the amount of chips that I had on my hand. I made $300 within 30 minutes. Gambling was the easiest way to make money after work. It was only 9:30 p.m. I knew even when I went back to my room, I wouldn't do anything but watch the phone, wasting my time and life on the electric machine. At the same time, I had to sleep early because it was a weekday. I had to go back to work and face reality. At the cash-out counter, I looked back and saw the emergency exit. If I went out through the door, then I had no choice. I had to go back to reality instead of dreaming. It was the perfect middle of the week that I could have a nice dream. What if I sacrificed this moment and made more money so I could have a relaxing day at work? I already made enough money to have a couple days off. While I was thinking and hesitating, I heard the noise of the chips, numbers, and electronic bell sound announcing winning. The dream was going on. I turned my direction from the cash-out counter and moved back to one of the other tables. Somewhere wouldn't cause any drama. I found a table where nobody played a game. It was a fresh table. It was a table where I couldn't predict any outcome. All I had to do was rely on the luck that I had today. If it wasn't my lucky day, then I could make money at work tomorrow. Money comes and goes anyway. I already had chips on my hand. I sat down and betted one chip on the table. It was just a game between the dealer and me. The dealer was quiet, and his card dealing was a little bit clumsy. He gave me heart 7 and clover 8. It was the worst number I could ever get, and the dealer's card was blackjack. It was the worst start. I sat down and thought. It was just one chip. I could give another try and see how the game would be, or just run like the old man told me. By thinking about working and the next day, I already felt depressed. I wanted to run away from the stress that I was getting from work. I bet another chip to escape from the misery. Another game started once I put the chip on the table. This time I got 2 face cards, and the dealer got heart 7 as an opening card. It was winning. I thought I was having bad luck, but it wasn't. I wasn't a coward that ran away from the fear of losing money. Whatever people said, I knew I was different. I had my own thoughts, and I believed in myself. As much as I played, I felt when I would win and lose. I repeated a few same mistakes, but I saw my chips were increasing on my table. I couldn't remember exactly how many games I played, but I remembered winning more than losing. I lost the awareness of the time. I kept playing the game until I was thirsty. A server passed by and I got a soft drink from the tray. I checked the time when I drank the water. It was over 2 a.m. It was midnight, and I knew I missed my sleeping time. I felt fatigue rapidly after I realized I played until midnight. I yawned and stretched my body. My chips were simply doubled, and I realized I made enough money for the week. I shook my head to wake up, and I colored in my chips. My wallet was filled with fresh $100 bills and a couple of $20 bills. It was a good profit, but I couldn't feel the excitement or the pleasure from the money I made. It wasn't the biggest win in my life, but I had to go. As soon as I got home, I laid on the bed. I didn't have any energy to wash myself. I didn't know what it was, but by closing my eyes, all I could hear was the plastic chips clapping sound and voice of numbers. I slept with those noises in my head. The sunshine irritated my eyes once I woke up. I realized I woke up later than the time I had to. It was 6:54 a.m. I couldn't get to work on time. I would be at least 20 minutes late if I went to work. I remembered the money that I won, and I wanted to give an excuse that they couldn't deny. I cleared my throat with a few coughs and picked up the phone. I took a deep breath before I called my manager. The phone rang, and the manager answered. I coughed a few times once he picked up the phone. "Hey, Adriano, I can't go to work today. I am sick."
Sounds like it. Okay. Rest well. It's flu season.
He hung up. It was the shortest conversation I ever had on the phone. I could sleep more, or I could do whatever I wanted today. I felt hungry and I wanted to have breakfast. I usually skipped breakfast, but I felt different. I was more honest with my desires since I had money. Most of the restaurants were open after noon. The only places I could go were fast food restaurants with drive-through. I drove to burger places nearby. There were people lined up to get the morning coffee. I had plenty of time, so I waited in the line. It was a long line. I waited in the car for 15 minutes, and I started to be impatient. The starving feeling was unpleasant. I waited another 10 more minutes, and it was finally my time to order the food. I impulsively ordered, 2 Whoppers burger please with 2 large fries and a drink. It was the moment I realized I skipped last night's dinner. The total was $31.64. I paid with 2 $20 bills that I got from the casino. I parked the car in the parking lot and started to eat the burgers I bought. I shoved the food into my mouth. As soon as my instinctive desire was fulfilled, I thought, I could fulfill my desires with the money that I earned from the casino, and I felt pleasant. It wasn't simply just a pleasant feeling, I would say, happiness, but it was more like a cool breeze in the hot summer. I finished 2 burgers in 15 minutes, and I smoked a cigarette to digest. I've never felt this comfort in my life. I didn't have to rely on social media to escape from the bitter reality. I could live in comfort as long as I made money. I looked at the clock. It was only 7:50 in the morning. As soon as I realized the boredom, I was bothered irritatedly. I opened my wallet. There were $100 bills, more than my bi-weekly wage. I remembered Demian. He was the only person who gave me the strong impression of the casino. I could double this amount of money in the casino by 1 game. I decided where to go to spend my rest of the day.